There's a book I read a little. I read like I don't know, a few chapters in. It's a book by a really good ethicist. She's an ethicist in virtue ethics and naturalist ethics. It's a book called Natural Goodness by Philippa. I know that's a weird sounding name, but she's a very good She's a very good ethicist in virtue. This is a book I had never read before, but I read it. I read like 3 chapters in it today before class. I checked it out, and a lot of what she's trying to do is she's trying to, argue a good form of naturalist ethics, but the way she's trying to do it is, or that she did it was by way of talking about it in terms of life. The big emphasis was life, and the fact that evil, moral evil and moral negative acts were a defect within life. That is a very good way of thinking about it, and moral goodness and all this stuff was, the function, I guess, was all of that functioning well. The function of life. Now, I think it's a very good way to look at the natural scientific world in terms of life, because that's what it is. The natural world wouldn't be thought of as the natural world without life being there. We wouldn't even be doing ethics would there be no life. So my thought is that she's kind of on to something here, because life can be thought of as, we can kind of expand this term of life, I think, in terms of thinking about life as the entire spectrum of natural properties and natural facts, because instead of trying to figure out what's out there, and as opposed, we're not really talking about what's in here. We're talking about life in general. This whole world can be thought of in terms of life, in terms of I guess in terms of the way life works. Natural facts and natural properties can be thought of in terms of how life works. And then a defect, and then morality can be equated, to life, in that, life not functioning well, or defect, can be thought of as a moral evil. This would be a good way of thinking about like a non-reductive form of naturalist ethics. Like I said in previous videos, a non-reductive naturalist ethics would be a way of circumventing G.E. Moore's open question argument, where he says that if you're going to be a naturalist, you have to take a moral property like goodness and equate it with a natural property, and thus you have to give a good account as to how every moral property is equal to a certain given natural property. So this could be a form of non-reductive naturalism, in that we could think about morality as to whether life is functioning well or not, as to whether it's being defective, or if it's functioning well. For example, to refer to environmental ethics, if we're not exercising goodness or not exercising arte, and we're using the world as a means to our ends, then this is a defect of life. I think it's a great way to look at it, and it could convert me to naturalism, but I mean I don't even know yet. I'm still kind of a emotivist, which I will talk about in the next series in metaethics. This could, be a really good way to be a naturalist. You would have to have really good arguments as to why you're going to equate morality with the function or malfunction of life, because you would have to have a really good argument as to why are you equating the natural world with life. And I could probably give a really good argument for that. You know, I could probably put one together really well. Because I think that's really good way to put it. To equate the natural world with life. That's perfect, because that's what the world is. The world is life, because the world minus the life is the habitat for life. So the world has to do with life. So the natural properties and the natural facts of the world are could be equated with life. It could all have to do with life and questions of life. And then morality could be argued as a natural fact, as a set of natural facts or natural properties. In that, in that. I just lost my train of thought. It can be argued that way. It could be argued that way as moral facts, as natural facts, as moral facts in the malfunction or function of life. That way it could be equated, with natural properties and natural facts, without having to give a more account of account of synonymy between all these equations. So yeah, I actually really like this. So let me know your thoughts, and I could do a better thought on Philippa Foot's work, but I read that today, so I just wanted to give a little quick discussion.